I've really taken some bruises, from dating.
You got your ass beat.
I would do it all over again.
Got your ass
yeah,
beat.
I have. I've been taking some beatings, but to be
that's how
who I am
though.
now, I would do it again just because it really served me. Like it put me on game.
Right.
And it really, it didn't make me bitter.
You needed it.
I did. It didn't make me bitter. It just made me like more protective of my, there's more to protect than your body. You know what I'm saying? Like there's more to protect in a situation than the friendship or your reputation. Is like, you really connecting with a person on several levels.
You can let your hair down. Tonight we gon' do something special. You can let your hair down.
Welcome to another episode of WWJD, the podcast. Decisions.
Where we going?
I want to talk about me. I want to talk about my life. I want to talk about dating and being single and like how that's going to like impact me moving forward. I want to talk about dating, like the do's and don'ts. What's dating, what's not dating. I remember a few years ago, the question was posed, is Applebee's 2 for $20 a date?
Yeah.
I felt like it was a date. Like, it's a cheap date. It's a $20 date.
Right.
But what about the people where, well, I won't even say that. I feel like to me, dating is more about the intention of the interaction. Like, are we progressing? Are we moving forward? Are we pushing this forward or are we talking?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
What's the
like, because dating, if you base it on the intent, it could be anything. It could be going to the library. It could be a picnic. It could be phone conversations. Y'all don't even have to like physically be around each other to be dating because it's about the intention, getting to know you to see if this is going forward. Like, I feel like you can grab dinner with anybody. You can grab lunch or breakfast with anybody. It doesn't mean that y'all want more from each other. So, I mean, I probably sounded basic by feeling like 2 for $20 is a date.
It is.
Now, I'm not saying I want somebody to take me to Applebee's. That's not what I'm saying.
Let's make that clear.
But also on the flip side of that, just because you take me to Ruth Chris don't mean you're more serious because you about to spend more money.
Money just a little bit longer.
Yeah, like you got it like that, which you got to be careful for the ones who got it like that because the wining and dining experience is simply because they have it, not because they like you.
True.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to be careful with that.
But then it could still be a date without intention. What if someone feels like they just going on a date per se, but are you feeling like the intention should be there before we even go on the date?
No, I just think the intention determines whether it's a date or we just kicking it.
Right.
Like,
that's true.
Because I can get dinner with anybody. I can go on a date with anybody, but I don't want to talk to you after this.
Right.
You want me to take you on a date?
I do want you to take me on a date.
Say less.
And I've never been all that dateable simply because I feel like dating is intimate. Dating, going on a date, whether it's like super duper romantic, is like, that's a real exchange of energy. And for me, I'm excited about the date night. Like, I anticipate it all day. I wake up thinking like, later, once I get the kids settled, I'm going to turn on my music. I might have a little wine or something. I'm preparing myself to spend this time with you. And I like to take a long time to get dressed. 2 or 3 hours, music going, I really creating the vibe, anticipating that. So I'm not about to just do that with a guy I've been texting with. Like, you're not about to get me out the house just from no text message. And also, I don't want to actually make it to the date where we're sitting across from each other and I realize like, I don't even like why am I even here? And then he's thinking that we may spend some time after this. It's like, I want to go home. So I literally can probably count on like 2 sets of hands how many dates I've been on in my entire life. And people are thrown off by that, like, why you never been here? Why you never been there? And my answer is because I don't allow just anybody to date me. You have to get to know me to get me out the house.
Right. Same.
What y'all think?
I don't even want to entertain it. Like if I'm just going for a good meal, I could buy it for myself and just go and enjoy the food. But if I'm gonna take my time out with you, I don't want to sit there and be like just looking at you like, why am I here?
Yeah,
like,
and then they can say the wrong thing and it's like gross. I'm totally turned off and I have to be here and
cringing.
People are walking by. That's another thing I'm really conscious of is who sees us, because to me, when you lend your person, like your reputation or whatever, it's being out with somebody is kind of like a cosign, whether you mean it or not. Like it depends on who sees you and how they take it. And even though it doesn't mean anything per se, but it's like in their mind, you know, that's a thing.
Right.
And you just wanted a meal. I'm just not willing.
I feel like that's, you just gonna go for just a meal? Like, why don't you go pay for it yourself? Like,
that's never been enough for me. But that's how I feel now. But I've always felt like that. Like, even when we were younger and, you know, when I was like a young adult, I was in the music group. So that those were my friends. And when they would go and date people and double date or have friends that want to go, I'm like, I just could not. I just couldn't. And then, you know what's weird about me? And I know it's an issue about boundaries, but I always get the touchy people. Do not touch me.
Not always.
I don't like,
you talk about people who are interested or if you go on a date or something like that?
Yes. It's just that in-person interaction where they want to touch and they want to try to get that kiss. And to me, that is so gross. Like, you don't know me. Why do you feel like I want that? That throws me off. It actually turns me off. I don't want to feel like, because it puts me in like protective mode. Like, you know, you gotta create that boundary. Get to know me,
not just what you see.
A little cool.
But no, keep your hands to yourself. Even if you knew me, even if this is the third date, if I don't invite you, don't lean in for that. Like, read the room.
Agreed. Yes.
And especially when a man is of a particular age, you feel in some way that he should know. But I realize now that maturity is not an age thing.
Not at all.
And it's so disappointing because I remember, and even in my emotional journey or my emotional healing, there was a point in my life where dating older made me feel safe. You know what I'm saying? Like it kind of filled that father wound. And I felt like if he's older, he's mature, it's safer, it's more consistent. And I really learned the hard way that that's not true. And now I feel like I have like a 4-year max, like no more than 4 years. And even that, I feel like I don't have to jump up 4 years or more than that to find my equivalent. Like, I just don't believe that.
Okay, so is that just how you feel, like your standards, or do you feel like it's a possibility someone can have an old soul? Like,
I definitely believe in old. I feel like I have an old soul. Like, I'm 34, but I feel like I definitely could date an older man, but that's what I'm saying. Older it's not the marker for mature. Like, these niggas is 50 with plaits. And there's no shade to men who want to grow their hair out, but I'm saying it's like, it does not mean that he has his emotions and his mental together because he, you know, surpassed a particular age. And for me, it's a no. Like 10 years, 12 years, no. Like we about to lose each other. Because as much as I'm mature, I'm still very childlike. Like, I like the kid around. I like the joke. I don't want things to feel serious. Like, I like my playfulness. We gonna play.
Right.
If you with me.
For me, long as I feel like the energy match and you're not acting childish, like, it's fine with me. Speaking personally, dating someone younger.
How do you feel about dating somebody younger? Okay, so there is a difference between like 25 and 18.
Yeah. Right.
Woman being older and guy being younger. That's too much of it. It's like you just crossed the bridge. Right. You know what I'm saying? But how do you feel like being in your 30s and reaching down? Do you feel like it's a difference or?
In the beginning, I was against it. Like, I don't really want someone younger than me. Like, no. But then I was introduced to someone who was younger, but it felt like we was the same age.
Right.
So I feel like long as you have that maturity and your mindset, then I'm cool with it. Not saying I'm gonna drop all the way down, like age don't matter when they're younger to you. It does, but to a certain extent, I feel like as long as you have that maturity there. Yeah. For me, I wouldn't go any lower than dang, I'm putting it out there. Then no more than 7.
Ooh, ouch. I cannot. Yeah, you know what?
Works for you.
Right.
What works for you works for you.
Like, I've dated a guy that was that much younger than me, but he's so mature. It's like, I would never thought that you would like that. If you didn't tell me your age, I would have thought you might have been older than me. Like that, to be honest. And like, I'm not childish, so he doesn't give me childish, but he just gives me like grown man.
He give you also, because I feel like when I was in my 20s, I was still a solid woman. Like, just because I was in my 20s, it doesn't mean that I was childish. I already had my children, you know what I'm saying? So I was already exposed to a different lifestyle. Right. I wasn't out in the clubs. I wasn't influenced by my peer group. I was doing something totally different than what the average person my age was doing. But it's just something scary about a younger, I feel like, first of all.
But
I feel like it's just a person.
What you're basing it off of, saying like he has a grown man tendencies. Are you basing it off of is it in comparison to something else, someone else?
That's a good question. Yes.
Does it seem mature because a previous person probably didn't do those things? On the average, like on a real scale outside of relationships, do you think the average woman would think that was, above standard?
I would say yes and no. Yes to, in comparison to someone else, are they more mature? Yes. But then no, because I feel like if his age wasn't told, like nobody would really could really tell. And then for me, it's really the person. I'm not saying like, okay, long as you're not past this amount of years younger than me, I'm cool with that. It really depends on your maturity and who you are as a person. Because you could still fit in those lines of age gap, but then it's like, I can't rock with you as a person, even if you older than me.
Why would you be scared of a younger person?
I'm not necessarily scared now. Like, even listening to her talk, my wheels started spinning because I'm like, now that I have the opportunity to date my age, younger or older, it's kind of like, what would I do? Because honestly, if I did meet the right person that has the characteristics that I want, I'd be open, but I have to admit I would probably be skeptical about younger because I've dealt older and it's like, y'all don't get it.
I feel like it's experience because I definitely felt that before I experienced it. I was like, you're that much younger than me? Like, no, I'm good. Right. But then when I experienced, it's kind of like, okay, Some
people cut from different cloths.
Absolutely. And I feel like in her case, he's definitely like a solid guy. And then what I love about him too is you can tell it'll only get better with age. And like, he a real one, period. Like, definitely. For anybody, he gonna get the job done. I love that about him.
Oh, thanks.
Anyway,
that makes the support from friends always feels good though, because your friends are gonna rock with you regardless. Like, if you fall, I'm gonna be here to pick you up. But at the end of the day, if I can really say some real shit, I appreciate that because they gonna tell you the truth.
We got one life.
Well, no, not everybody tell you the truth. And how y'all feel about that? Like, what is a friend? Like, how do we measure friends? Because I noticed I've always been like a loner. Like, all my life, I've always been like kind of to myself, and I've always had friends and people that I love, but I never made their friends my friends. It's like, that's you and your friends, that's you and your friends, that's you and your friends, and I kind of stayed in my own bubble. But I got such solid friends that my requirement for friendship is like airtight. You cannot come over here with no BS at all.
But that's kind of how I felt about, not even kind of, that's how I felt about y'all. Because it's not like I was coming in like, okay, I'm going to make your friends my friend. But then when you introduce Brittany, it's like, dang, she cool. I really fuck with her. Not like I was coming in.
She fucks with her. It's like, if she fucks with her, she fuck with her the long way, it's like, why wouldn't
But I feel like I did a great job at that with my friend group. Like, my friend group gets along we're very, very much blended, very much a thing. Right. Like, I really love that, but
it ain't sometimes it ain't the same one at the end.
It happens. No, it's not. And sometimes it's personality.
Right. Cause it ain't
jealousy.
I can't.
For me, it ain't really rock on the opposite side. Like how on your side, it didn't really happen on my side, which I'm held accountable because I feel like, dang, like I was already a little skeptical, and then Joe, she's on like, no, I don't fuck with her.
I'm on 1,000.
I don't
every
even
time.
know that ain't your friend.
Nothing gets past
and
me.
Like,
I don't care who
sometimes
you are.
when you known a person for so long, you kind of like know them based on like, oh, we grew up together, whatever. But then somebody coming in on the outside might look at it like, I don't even know why you talking to them.
You never even paid attention to.
Right.
But I didn't get that at all on your side. So I appreciate that. Not saying that my side's fake, but you just seen some shit that, you know.
But so my thing now, because I'm so not the no new friends type of person, like I love to meet new people, and the higher quality the people, the more I want to integrate them into my life if it makes sense. So I'm always open to meeting great, individuals, but I just have a problem with I can't tolerate nothing. Right. Like I'm not even, and I don't get how people do it. And it kind of makes me like weird friend energy, like not that genuine, overly overbearing, or you didn't make it to my birthday, or you didn't answer the phone. Like I don't understand that, and I don't really deal with that with y'all. So when I hear situations out of other people, I'm like, I don't get that. So now looking at it from my perspective today, it makes me feel like if you tolerate that, do you participate?
I was about to say,
like,
what does that say about you?
Yeah, it makes me think that, like, because I'm the type of person, like, even now, you can't do no bullshit around me. Mm-hmm. I'm just not. And at least I'm going to love you anyway, because that's what unconditional love is. But you're going to know where I stand with that. So you move accordingly. I stand where I stand. I'm not, you doing what you're doing. I love you, but don't come over here talking to me like I'm with that shit.
I feel like with growth, you have to know like when to draw your own boundaries, like when to say no. Sometimes you might grow up with somebody and then they go left, whether they become a drug addict or they got into some shit you ain't with. And then you like, oh, I still know them from here. And your friend like, why are you even talking to this person? Right. But you still have that love for them because it's like, I grew up with you. But you have to hold yourself accountable to know when you're not on that at all. And I got to separate myself from you and love you from afar.
I've done it.
And that's what I had to get used to, because at the time that me and you were getting to know each other, I was around people that was like, I'm still, because we grew up together. Right. But I had to come to the point where that it's like, obligation, you're not even good for me.
Right.
So at this point, I can love you from afar, but I can't really have you in my circle for my own peace. Like,
don't disturb my peace.
I just don't believe in that from anybody. And I hate to be the person that's kind of like the dream killer, the heart, the serious about everything. But the love is so pure and so genuine. I'm not tolerating it from anybody. Right. Like no negativity. I'm too sensitive. I can't, like, I just can't see me doing that. It
throws my whole alignment off.
So what do you think about...
Especially when you know what you put out.
And that's how I feel. It's like I'm a little bit too thorough to settle for less than what I'm offering. Like, I just don't believe in it. And I feel like I'm not accepting anything from you that I wouldn't do to you. Like, and if that means we're not going to be in each other's lives, like, I'm kind of okay with that.
That's guarding yourself, as you should.
Yeah.
Rather than tolerating and put up with things you shouldn't put up with out of the expense of their feelings. Like, how do they make you feel to where, like even lately, I feel like I've had to end some friendships, but not like any bad blood, but it's just like beef. We ain't really like on the same frequency, like at all. So it's not, I still love you, but like you're not good for me as far as like how you make me feel, the anxiety, whatever else. Like, I don't want it. Like,
that's how I feel about, like, my therapist has been saying to me for years, like, based on the information that I give him, he's like, you need to change your social circle. And for so long, I'm like, I did not understand that. I'm like, where am I supposed to go to meet new people? Or how do I not be friends with certain people? But now I'm in a space where I'm totally okay with the separation. Like, it's just certain things I don't want to do. And I don't want to explain to you, like, I just don't enjoy that shit. Like, I really, and I used to think, like, because people will label you antisocial. And it's like, I'm not if you know me, you know I'm not antisocial. Right. It's just, I'm having to be okay with, I don't belong in certain places strictly because I don't want to be there. And it doesn't say anything negative about you. It's just, I'm somewhere different. Right. But I didn't realize how much of a, like, separation that would be. Like, I'm having to really be like, I see it online and I see y'all looking like y'all having a good time and I still don't want to be there.
Right.
And that's just that. Like, it's not a special occasion that's going to make me come. Like, I don't want to fucking be there.
I have to be in the mood. Like, sometimes I'm not in the mood for social gatherings.
Sometimes I'll be in the mood and it gets close and I'll be like,
I don't want to go.
Nah.
Yeah. Well, what about like friend zone? I believe in the friend zone. Like I'm older now, and friend zone has such like a negative connotation. And guys specifically, they hate to be friend zone. But I'm like, honestly, when you think about it, that's the safest place to be,
right? Because
now you get like a real view of the woman for you to see if this is the type of woman that you want to be with, and if you could just get past wanting some ass,
right?
You know what I'm saying, and letting that be your marker for success, you'd really see like, damn, I love this girl. Like, I love the way she think. I love the way she handle her situation. So literally for years, I've been telling people like the friend zone is honestly the safest place to be. And I'll just speak from experience. I had like a friend zone. What I thought it was like a genuine like friend zone type of situation, and I continued to be his friend. So this is what happened after I stopped dealing with other guys romantically. He was the last guy standing. He's in the friend zone, but now I love you as a person. Like, I feel like we getting along and we really understand each other. And I started like getting really comfortable talking to him. So once I was ready for sex, it was like, you're my friend. I trust you. You know, we could probably do this with no strings attached. And I realized after I crossed that boundary, like, he wasn't being a friend. He was waiting in the wings.
In line.
You know what I'm saying? And I was thinking like, oh shit, I got. Because what else did he have to do?
Right.
He could deal with whoever else he wanted to deal with on the side, not tell me about it, and really present himself like a friend. And I'm really thinking like, we friends, we trust each other, this is good. And I got set up.
So how did you feel when he was the last one standing? That's how you felt?
I really felt like, because I wanted sex, but I didn't want to like go back to exes or, you know, people that I dealt with. I didn't want to rehash that. And I felt like, well, we're not really trying to be serious about each other, but we trust each other. It's a certain comfort level where I didn't necessarily want to date you, but I wanted what I wanted. Yeah. And I don't feel no shame about that, but it totally did not do what I thought it was going to do, because he wasn't being a friend.
So no signs were there? He waited until he was the last one standing?
I think, and I will never be able to speak for the other person and how they felt. It's just at the end of the day, it's like at the end of the day, regardless of the romance, you didn't handle me like a friend.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like I kind of gave you credit for being something that you weren't all along. You just stood in that space.
Yeah.
But moving forward, you know, with me being single, I'd rather see the potential for friendship in a person before a partnership in a person. Completely agree. Because it's like, I really want to give us a chance to know each other. Right. There may be some things about me that you don't want a wife. Mm-hmm. And I respect that. And there may be some ways about you that I don't want to commit myself to, but we're friends. We don't have to take it to the romantic space. Right. So that's why I'm okay with like holding off on the sex. So it's like we give each other a chance to know each other.
You with it? I couldn't agree anymore.
I say that because it sounds real good, and I feel like that's how I would handle it. What actually I know I would handle it that way. Yeah, I really don't have a choice, but my thing now is it's so easy to be attracted to people. It's so many reasons to find attraction in a person, but what is that component that make you feel like this should be romantic? That's where my head is now. Because it's like, you cute, we got good conversation, you do this, you do that, but do we really need to get into bed based on those things?
Yeah. No.
Right.
That's very good.
But this is my first time like being in this space where it's like, yeah, I like you, but it doesn't mean we got to do this.
Right.
Because the chances of that, like everybody can't be the one.
Right.
Right.
So just because you go there with a person doesn't ensure anything. Like you can marry a person and it doesn't guarantee success.
Or happiness.
True. So I'm like really having to take a step back, but I appreciate this because now I can see people.
Right.
Like when I see you, you can be attractive, but it's not like, oh, next Tuesday we gonna Netflix and chill. It's like, nigga, you might not see me really for 2 months. We may not do nothing but have conversation. You know what I'm saying? And be friends. You don't need to come over here after midnight, or you know what I'm saying? Like you don't need to be in my space.
They want to be friends don't really mean that.
They don't.
Yeah.
And that's what I learned through, experience. Like just because somebody positions themselves in that way doesn't mean they mean it.
Right.
I mean, I've really taken some bruises, from dating.
You got your ass beat.
I would do it all over again.
Got your ass
yeah,
beat.
I have. I've been taking some beatings, but to be
that's how you
who
learn,
I am
though.
now, I would do it again just because it really served me. Like it put me on game.
Right.
And it really, and it didn't make me bitter.
You needed it.
I did. It didn't make me bitter. It just made me like more protective of my, like
Yeah,
there's more
conscious.
to protect than your body. You know what I'm saying? Like there's more to protect in a situation than the friendship or your reputation. Is like, you really connecting with a person on several levels. Like you let people know things that you don't let the world know. And which brings me to this thing where a lot of guys think I'm intimidating. They're like, you're so intimidating. And I'm thinking like, part of me is like, good. Cause keep your scary ass out my face. Like if you can be intimidated by me, stay away from me. Stay out of my way.
The right one's not going to be as intimidated.
But the thing that not many people know, and you wouldn't know this unless you were a lover, the other side of me. Yeah. That's not something people should know anyway. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, good. You don't need to have any of that. Like,
so the other side is just Big Joe. That's Big Joe on the
No,
phone.
the other side of me is such a lady, is such a woman, but I'm not giving that. I don't owe you that. You don't need to see that. That's my point.
No, I'm saying what they see is Big Joe.
They think, that's what they think they're seeing. It's like this girl that's like a city girl and I don't care. And I'm like, if you know me, that's literally the furthest.
Yeah, you're definitely a lover.
From how I think. But I enjoy that now because it separates
her being a lover.
It's at a fault,
Yeah.
I think, but I needed it. I needed those.
Oh, I don't disagree.
Black guys.
You don't disagree. You need to be slapped up.
I did.
Pushed around a little bit. Because it woke you up to further potential.
I hate having to kind of brush off this stain of being, it's nothing to be bitter about. Like people do what they do and you need to know that. That way you know who to stay away from. So
they can still
I'm
get
not
slapped.
mad about it. Yeah, it's still.
Look, we know who you are.
I look.
Let's just put that out there. Shoot.
No, there's still a consequence to running into me. I don't know what influence I'm gonna be under. If it's WWJD,
either way they watching.
What would Jesus do, or what would Joanne do? I don't know.
I
But
I know for me.
I kind of know for me too. But it's whatever. What do we think about breaks, like in a relationship? Do y'all believe in taking breaks?
Relationship or marriage? Or both?
Either.
Or all?
I think any relationship warrants a period to question, like, what am I doing? What are we doing?
And breaks, it depends on how you're defining it too.
How do you define it? What do you think?
It can be a multitude of things. It can be like, we're not together. It could be that. I listen.
Dumb to me.
That's just something. It could be like, I need a break from you being in my face every single day. I need a break from you like being with me all the time. Or I need a break where like we're not spending as much time together. Like I get some alone time to myself. Like I need a break from my kids and my husband all the time. But that's just, it's not a break for good. It's just like, I need to not see y'all for a day. Nobody can call me. They can't call my name. You can't do nothing.
Well, so
Don't
that's
reach
more
me.
like a personal space break. Like I just need time to be.
Oh, you talk about relationships.
You mean a break from the relationship?
I can't.
You can't really speak to that. Back in the day when I was younger, I think that I wanted to feel like a break was like, oh, we just taking some space. And then I learned that like a break is really a breakup. Like he doing him. Like we call it a break, but he's really out there doing him. And I'm trying to be loyal to the relationship itself. And it didn't work. It's similar to when you first meeting somebody and it's like, technically we're not together. So even though you carrying it with a certain level of loyalty, the reality is y'all are not together. Yeah. So you may as well just be doing you because he doing him. That damaged me.
Mm-hmm. We taking a break. I mean, we I've had that. I think I was in high school.
You kind of have to be young and dumb, even if you're not young in age, but just young emotionally to go for somebody saying,
we taking a break.
We taking a break.
You know I still love you, and you over here in this next bitch face. But you saying you love me.
You gotta be respectful.
Was it me?
Though.
That's just right. Like I'm having this conversation with y'all, but my wheels are like seriously spinning. I hope y'all can't see it in my face, but it's like I'm just thinking back to all the times that I fell into the trap of
you had to learn
a break or we're not together. You know, like that grace period of getting to know somebody. What do y'all think about how? Okay, so just tell me. Forget the generalization. Like, say I meet a guy. When is it okay to like be serious? Or when is it okay to have expectations? Is that a monthly thing? Like, is it a time thing?
I don't think it's a time limit.
It's really based on the communication between you two, how you feel. Mm-hmm. And not necessarily agreement, but okay, I know, you know, this is where we at. Like, I feel like people put time limits on things.
Time doesn't matter.
And time might even go by and you think, okay, we ready now. And you shouldn't even be together.
But should you care, like in that moment before anything is solidified, does his past matter? Does how he's carrying it matter? Like what matters? Like when you meet somebody, how much of how they live matter? Like
that matters.
How much of what?
Like how much, like say I meet a guy, maybe we talking, we got some rhythm. Mm-hmm. It's maybe like a 3-week, month type of mark. Should I care what he's doing when he's not with me? Or you know what I'm saying? Like how do you define
it depends
what's appropriate
on the consistency that y'all are at. Right. Like if y'all are seeing each other every night, spending all this time together, and then they want to switch up, and then you like, wait, he don't gotta tell me.
By the way, I don't want to do any of that. Like within like
disclaimer.
The first few months, I don't want any things happening that blurs the lines. Right. No sleeping over. No sex for me. I don't want to have sex. I don't want to have sex with anybody until we decide that we are actually progressing this friendship forward.
Deciding that is putting a time limit on it, or not saying that. I don't think
it's a time limit. I think it's a decision about whether we're going to move forward. Because
I agree.
Talking to somebody and integrating casual sex has been a disaster for me. Although it's felt good, right, and it made me feel or think things that I obviously shouldn't have been thinking, I don't want to continue to meet people and, you know, blur those lines before we establish anything. And that's what I mean by attraction is not enough to be doing all of that.
Yeah, mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Like it's burnt me time and time again to feel like, oh, we're talking. Oh, now we're having sex. But what are we? If you don't answer the phone, should I not even be offended? Am I able to say something? Should I question you? It's like, it's too much bullshit.
I still feel like it shouldn't be a time limit on that though.
I don't think it's
based on consistency. Like if we doing this, don't switch up on me and I'm supposed to feel like, oh, it's only been this amount of time. I can't question that. You know what I mean?
But why can't he switch up? If y'all don't have anything,
you can't switch up based on like our consistency. And now you feel like you want to act funny. Now, if we were already like that, like I talk to you here and there, we text here and there, and now I want to expect more out of you because of my feelings. That ain't right. But I feel like, why are we switching up?
Because y'all ain't together. He can switch up if
that
he wants
ain't
to.
Right though.
Do you get to say something or not? That's my question. Like,
yes, I do, because I feel like switching up, I mean, it could be consistent. We're talking consistently. Or maybe we talk here and there and I'm wanting more. I can't expect him to give me more if this is what we've been doing.
I can't, I attempted to date somebody, that's what I was thinking. Like, we about to see what we got to move forward. And it was just not enough communication for me. And in a sense, I felt like I was needing too much from a person. But at the same time, I'm like, I've never had to feel like this.
You were used to
I
the
was
opposite.
so used to niggas being on my
Nigga
scalp.
would be on the phone with you for hours. Like, they had no fucking business.
So somebody who like had a life, I totally felt like rejected. Like, you ain't got enough time for me. Like, this is not, I'm just not used to this.
And I told you,
and
you
at
was
the end
just
of the
not
day,
used to it.
Respectfully, because we've recently spoken about it, and I'm like, we just see that differently. Like, I felt like I needed a little more interaction to feel like otherwise it's like you are equivalent to everybody else that hit my line. So
but how much time,
what's
though? Because I feel like still to an extent, you gonna make time for the person you really.
That's how
with.
I felt. To me, it was totally like you left me for dead.
I didn't.
My time might not
agree with
be
that.
My time might not be a lot of like your time.
You never agreed. You was always like, well, what if this? And I'm like, shut up, because that don't even make
you literally
sense.
only want to see it one way. Like, well, if he wanted to have time with me, then he would. But it's like, sometimes people really are busy. Everybody doesn't operate
how that busy.
Listen, no,
I don't
everybody.
believe in
I
that
agree.
busy.
Don't
But at the
entertain me
same
if you don't
token,
have
you can't
time.
put
that.
every nigga in the same category. Not every like you're expecting because 2 niggas out of 5, or no, you could say 3 niggas out of 5 are on your line buzzing you 24/7.
No, it's not my business.
But that 4th one that don't do it, it's like. He's not interested, but he's different from them. His schedule may be different. His lifestyle may be different.
Interest is what I was
can
saying.
get that
Everybody's
part.
not the same.
The schedule can be
But I
different.
don't-
Life might be
I
different,
didn't
but you
like
can
it.
make time. That's the only
You
point
can.
I'm saying.
But you can also like find somebody who has understanding that like I'm working, I have stuff going on. That does not mean that it lacks interest.
That
But
part.
you're not going to be my number one, and all my stuff that I had before you goes to the wayside because I got to give you all of my attention, call you every time you think I should. Like, no.
Well, that's where communication.
Well, you need to leave me
comes in
alone
at.
then.
Like, what are we?
She
That's what
wants
I'm
somebody
saying.
on
I'm
her
not
ass.
saying that you need to talk to me all day, every day.
Because the one that's giving her a little,
But she's
that ain't.
used to, keep in mind, that is what she is used to.
But when she gets a man that's not a yes man, she's intrigued. Like, wait, I don't know.
It did.
You got me thinking.
No, actually, it kind of did make me like, this is different. It really did pique my interest because of that.
But that's what's
Right.
right.
But on the flip side of that, it felt like rejection. Like, I don't
At the same
understand
time.
why you ain't.
And I didn't look at
own
it
it
that
like
way.
that.
I don't think that like it's like if somebody tells you like I got tired or I'm busy because what's gonna happen
you ain't
is if
getting tired every
listen,
night.
no. If
You
she
tired
feels
every
an
night at the same
inclination of
time,
something
it's a
different, she's gonna dive into it. And that's where it's just gonna go. Like,
Wait, what you talking about?
if you feel
You're not
like
about
he's
to-
not interested, you gonna dive like she gonna look like, well, I mean, the last 2 days we talked at 12 o'clock. But like, it's been 3. She's diving deep into it.
notice of the pattern.
I ain't saying she been wrong, but what I'm saying is
I've
she gets
never
an
been
inclination
wrong.
and
She
something
definitely-
stirs her, she's gonna go with it. And it may not be exactly to the left, but if she takes it there, it's where she's going. And it's gonna be hard to take it to the right.
But I do feel like
9
she'll
times out of 10.
analyze it and enough to know, like,
It just don't
Okay.
be
she
feeling
has a
right.
tendency to
Yeah.
overanalyze as well.
that's
But
true.
so
'cause
no, but in this particular case with this particular person, I could buy the busy shit. I can get that, even to the point where when we do spend time, you falling asleep. But I'm thinking like this. I ain't used to this.
Even the
You're
position
not used to it.
the
You're
position that
not
he was
used to it.
at,
It's
he could have
probably
been like,
very
come to where I'm
common.
at. Like, the position he was in, if I'm busy but I'm here, like, come through. You see I'm working, but you can be here.
But did you ever work?
Right,
Did you ever
but that
deal with a
wasn't
nigga
the
that
thing.
was busy like that? No.
Well, I don't want nobody that's busy like that.
And that's your standard, though.
You need to make time for Big Joe.
She want a nigga in her face 24/7 because that is what she's used to. And I'm not saying it's
That's
wrong,
not
but
what
to
I want.
for somebody coming like, I really got some other stuff going on, doesn't mean I'm not interested, but I'm busy. She didn't know how to take it.
I didn't, but now
She
I
didn't.
can
That was
respect
true.
that, even to the degree. Now,
But more
follow me
time
on
could
this.
be
Don't
made,
judge
though.
me. Listen to what
It
I'm
wasn't.
saying.
It's not that it wasn't. Go ahead.
I'm a woman with children, and my babies aren't babies anymore, even though they're my babies. I totally feel like I could, or I would like to entertain a relationship where maybe we don't even have to live together. Or we could, that doesn't mean that we don't spend a substantial amount of time together, but we still have the option of our privacy. You know, because with my daughters, this man is not their dad. this man is not a significant part of their life.
Yeah.
The way that he is my life.
Yeah.
You get what I mean?
Yeah. Because if he becomes a significant part of your life, he's gonna be a significant part of theirs.
It just depends. It's a difference because
that's the automatic.
I will feel some type of way about him romantically that they won't feel about him. But then this is a person that I bring into our lives
Significance
full
don't change.
time.
They don't change because that's another being brought into their aura, their life. They're like,
but that's what I'm saying.
don't
I
change.
think I don't mind having a bit of separation sometimes, where it's like I maintain my place, you maintain your place. We can still be together.
In what aspect?
I don't know what that looks like, to be honest with you.
I think
I
think it sounds well. I think you should try it. I don't think you really know until you actually.
I do want to try. Okay, so that's fair. I do want to try something outside of the traditional. We're together. We have to live under the same roof because sometimes
I think you think that.
I think that I would want that,
but I don't think you would.
But I'm gonna be like, where you at? I probably will be that way.
Well, that would just put you in, that will
works.
align you to where you need to be like, okay, this isn't for me. I don't like living separate.
I don't think she's gonna ever like it.
Just these days.
I think the thought of it is very nice. It's like, oh yeah. Like, yeah, I think,
yeah.
But reality is that you don't want your man with you.
And if he's okay with it, I'm gonna feel some type of way.
Exactly.
Like, why you don't want to live with me?
Just shut up.
Whatever. Because I don't even know who he is, but I know he like that. And he love me.
He do.
And out of a room full of the baddest bitches he ever seen, he still choose me. That's the only man that I want.
That's how
actually.
I feel.
The one who wants me, who wants a future with me, and really has my best interest in my well-being. Right. That's the guy that I want.
Right. I completely agree.
More on this next episode.
Right.
Thank you for joining WWJD, the podcast. You can find us on Instagram, same name. YouTube, same name. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, and comment. Even if you just put an emoji. We like emojis.
And always shout out to TSM Media Company.
Yes.
Holding us down on the podcast.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Next time.
They can still get slapped.